pay-per-view buys 255,000. What do you think about that?
Uh, Kevin was the booker at the time. I was with him as his assistant or whatever he needed. But we always hear the negatives about Kevin. He did a remarkable job when he took over.
What do you think about him as a booker overall? Do you think like you are, definitely you like to book heat. You like to, get a lot of the bad guys, quote unquote, the heels over. What would you kind of think of Kevin as a booker?
He had the same philosophy. And Kevin knew how to get heat. I heard some people say he didn't have that many moves, right? There's only been one guy selected to the Baseball Hall of Fame unanimously, and that's Rivera, right?
Yep.
He had one pitch.
True.
Yeah.
And it's
Kevin,
funny, Hogan didn't have a lot of moves either. He's he's one of the best.
yeah. And Kevin, if he kept the job, and he would have grown into it magnificently. Kevin had so many outside ventures at the end. You know, he had movies and other things. So he didn't get fired. He went to them and said, I'm going to take a break and I want Kevin to take over. But if this was Kevin's pay-per-view.
With him as a booker, what does he like rely on you for? Does he want you to kind of set him up, or are you just kind of going over the details after he lays out the show?
Him and I, we became really close because he had me, he had Mike Graham, Bob Mole, and we would be in the office. Actually, Kevin got us out of the office into a hotel so we could get work done. And Kevin would ask me what I thought about things. He would ask Mike Graham for finishes. He surrounded him. Mike Graham was one of the greatest finish men in the business, next to his father. So Kevin was smart on people he chose to bring in. And Kevin was very, very well liked in the dressing room backstage. Especially the Hispanic boys love Kevin. Kevin is a cool dude. Great guy to have. I told you this before. You can talk art to Kevin. You can talk sports to Kevin. You can talk wine. I can't talk it on his level, but he can. He's just an all around cowboy.
With him and him being so close to the boys, does that make it weird, like for the booker? I know you said you kind of like a player's coach yourself, but is that weird to be that close to the boys and be a booker?
For some people, it is very difficult. But for Kevin, first of all, when he walks in the room, he's somebody. Kevin has this magnetic personality, and he got a lot out of guys because everybody wanted to work for Kevin because he made them feel good. I can remember when guys become back under the curtain. And like Rey Mysterio walked by and Hoovy, he give them both a pat like you do in football in the ass. And thumbs up, guys. He appreciated the guys' performances. He was very diplomatic in giving out finishes. If it was ever a question, I gave a finish. I said this is what Kevin wants if you want to talk to him. he's in his room. Go ahead. And 90% of them would say, well, okay, that's fine. And if they did go in there, it was just to tweak something. Maybe they wanted a little more time. And other than that, I never saw any problems that he had backstage.
Do you think he was a little intimidating maybe to some of the boys? I mean, he's a massive guy, known as one of the toughest and strongest guys in the business too. So was he intimidating, you think, at all?
Oh, I used to train with Kevin, and at my strongest, I squatted 800 pounds. Kevin was doing back work on Nautilus equipment with 750. I've never seen anybody come close to that. I could maybe do, and I'm talking about in my best, he was getting 405 is 4 plates. He would get 15 reps. I may get 7 with 315. He was really an imposing guy, and he never came across as a bully when he became the boss. And I think that had a lot to say about Kevin's character. I know some people think that maybe he held people down, but he really didn't, because it goes back to explain, like they're probably doing right now, the WWE, explain why you're paying that guy so much money and they're not working that much. It's not in their contract. Well, because there's other guys that are better. And Kevin would try, when I say better paychecks, Kevin would explain it to them in the coldest and truest fact. Hey, I get a report why I'm doing this. And if I do it too often, my neck is on the line too. You're not going to lose your job. I can't remember anybody that was let go by Kevin unless their contract ran out and the contract negotiations failed.
What do you think were like his credentials to become a booker? What did he do as far as I know, obviously be a world champion and be a great athlete and everything, but what kind of made him want to be a booker or made Bischoff and yourself think he could be the booker?
Kevin had great ideas. They tried to kill Kevin off when he first got there, whether it was intentional or not, not intentional. I happen to have my own thoughts on it, and I'll keep them to myself. But they gave him Vinny Vegas, right? And
Yep.
they had Diamond Dallas Page, who hadn't found himself yet, be his mouthpiece. Then they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on that backdrop for the disaster of Oz. They took a 7-foot guy who had just won Mr. Georgia, made his hair gray, put a cone on his head, and had me walk to the ring with a wizard mask on. And Janie Ingalls as Dorothy. I mean, Kevin had to dig himself out of a hole. And the other thing was, Kevin got to stand and watch outside the ring some of the greatest performers in the history of our business. He got to see Sean every night. He got to see Scott up close working with Sean. He got to see Austin. He got to see them all from ringside, and Kevin absorbed everything. Kevin absorbed everything, and he had such a personality. Everybody wanted to have a beer with Kevin. And he had his statement, it's true. Guys wanted to be like Kevin and girls wanted to be with Kevin. So Kevin had it, but he overcame a lot of bad shit that I don't think I've ever seen anybody dig himself out of that kind of hole in my life.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.